How's it going? Welcome back into the den for Rambles, Rants, Razors, episode 32. What you talking about, Willis? I'm Tobin. When I was a kid, I grew up watching a TV show called Different Strokes, and it was about the Drummond family. And you had Willis and Arnold and Kimberly. Willis and Arnold were adopted. Philip Drummond, the father, was very well off, and his housekeeper, when she was dying, she got sick. They never really said, I don't believe what it was, but she got sick and she was dying, and her dying wish was that Philip would adopt her two sons and that he would raise them as his own. And so he did that, and that's the premise of the TV show. But from it, you get these two kids from lesser means, like it says in the theme song, and then this guy living alone with his daughter who, has everything. And when I was a kid, I didn't know the lessons that I was learning, but a lot of those, 80 sitcoms really did a good job of driving home messages. And I'll never forget Different Strokes. And I've shared it so many times with my own kids growing up, Different Strokes, different folks. As a wet shaver, as a Christian, as an Oregon football fan, as a self-described shave nerd, schnerd, a PAA, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement fanboy. I do things and see things differently than other people. I got my first wet razor in 2013, joined the community in 2015, and for the first 6 or 8 years, I was a tub loader. I never thought I'd become a scooper. Now I scoop and scoop only. I don't do call to actions. That's when you ask people to comment, like, and subscribe. I almost never, unless there's a reason to ask you to comment, I don't do it. But there's an actual thing with content creators that you're supposed to, don't forget to hit like, don't forget to comment and subscribe. I don't do that. And it's because I'm different. And the reason why I'm different is I believe that you're smart enough to know that those buttons are there, that this isn't your first time watching YouTube, and that if I'm doing my job as a content creator, you will hit the like button, you will hit the subscribe button, and if my content is engaging enough for you, you will comment on your own. So I don't do those things. I now scoop for various reasons, not going to go into it, but I will never say never to tub loading again. I've learned the hard way to never say never. That leads us in to what I wanted to talk about here. And don't let me forget, we're going to do some winners for giveaways and kick off another giveaway. But real quickly, so going back to what I talked about in my Fear City review, and that was regarding content creators like myself, YouTubers, that receive products for review, whether or not it is a good idea for them to sell those products. First thing I want to say is, if the content creator has done the review, they've met the obligation. So if, say, you, Joe Schmo, you send me something to review, I review it. At that point, I have met the obligation. I have met your expectation. And once I meet that expectation, that product is mine. I have never sold anything that I have reviewed. In fact, I honestly don't even remember the last time that I sold anything other than what I was doing on eBay back in 2020 and 2021 when I was restoring razors and selling them. I just give my stuff away. I do the I buy, you fly giveaway, which we're actually going to be kicking off here soon, where I take things that I've purchased. I buy, you fly. It's an old saying around here. Kind of like if my daughter Emily was to come to me and say, hey, Dad, I want McDonald's. I would say, okay, you buy, I'll fly. Or if I'll buy, but you go get it. And so I have the soaps, so I buy, and then you pay for shipping. And we're going to be doing a whole bunch of that here soon. That's how I've done it in the past. That way you're getting a soap set that's worth $40 or $50 for, a fraction of the price, $5 or $6 or $8, depending on where you are. And then that way you got a little bit of skin in the game, because I've actually seen it. People talk about, oh, well, you need to do a giveaway. Well, there's a lot of effort that goes into giveaways. a lot of effort that goes into giveaways. And if you've ever done one, you know that it's not the most straightforward thing. But, and I won't name any names, I have seen it happen multiple times, not just from my stuff, but people doing it to other people, where somebody will give something away, that person will receive it, and then they'll turn around and sell it on a buy, trade, sell site, which is fine. It's been given to them. You know, I'm not the kind of dad that will give you a gift card and then tell you what to buy, right? I don't do that. Here's a gift card to Walmart or wherever. You do with it as you please. I'm not going to set any stipulations or strings upon your gift card. That's just not how I am. And so if I give you something, it's yours. I don't freaking care at that point. It's better than it going into the garbage. I just want the products that I give away to go to a good home where they're going to get used and not collect dust like they're doing here in my den. So if the obligation, the expectation has been met, then I feel like it's the person's right to do whatever they want. Now, I feel like that's a bad look. I'll never do it. I wouldn't recommend that guys do it. But the guys that do it, it goes back to different strokes, different folks. I like to use a pre-shave. You may not. I like to apply my splash differently than you'll probably see any other YouTuber do. You know, so your shave, your way, your content, your way. And I would say that as long as the person is doing an honest review, that's like the end all beats all. That if they're giving honest content, then it's like, it's a mute argument, a pointless argument at that point. If it's obligation met with the review and it was an honest review. And if you're watching people that you think aren't giving you an honest review, what are you doing? Did I have anywhere else I was going with that? Philip Drummond, we talked about him. I got my notes right there. Call to action. Like, I don't do call to action. Did I talk about that? Let's talk about the giveaways. And just, even as a content creator, I've seen things differently. As this February of 26 will be 4 years for me creating content. There's no manual, there's no book that tells you how to be a content creator. It's the kind of thing, like being a father, that you just learn as you go along. And, you know, there's books for being a father, but don't even read them. Just do your best. Allow yourself some grace and forgiveness. Your kids will forgive you when you make mistakes. I truly believe I'm a better father to Emily, our youngest, than I was to Austin, our oldest. And that's because I have learned how to be a better father every single day. And I've learned that, you know, what works for one kid may not work for another. And that is so true even in this hobby. When I started, I was against affiliate links. A year or about 2 years into it, my opinion started to change against affiliate links. And now I support affiliate links. A year or two ago, when YouTube first reached out to me to do the membership thing, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. That's too gimmicky. It's too whatever. But now that I've done it, I absolutely love it. I'm having a ton of fun on the Discord and with the guys and the relationships that I've built. Just keep an open mind and don't watch people that you feel like aren't giving you a genuine, honest review. I Buy You Fly is going to be coming up. I got a ton of stuff for you guys. I've spent the last like 4 days cleaning out the den. I got tons of stuff still over here. Still got a lot more work to do, but I'll be kicking that off in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll just keep rolling right through it in 2026. And when I've given all those things away, I do delete the videos. That's why there's none of them on here. That way, so if you see the video and it's still up, that's because the giveaway is still going on. Let's get to the winners of the previous giveaways. So my opinion has changed. I used to be against them. I used to look down on guys doing it. Now I no longer recommend that I would not recommend to a content creator to sell his products that he's received for review, because it's a bad look. However, I support that content creator and his or her decision to do so. It's their product once they've met the requirement, the expectation, the obligation of their review. Hope that all makes sense in that It was coherent. Starting with the Honest Abe EDP Elixir giveaway, Nathan Wayman. The trifecta for Air Force One, Manny Peralta. The $25 gift card to Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. That was from the Chi-Light Zone review. Had 49 entries on that one. That's a ton of entries. And the lucky number that was drawn by Google's random number generator, number 16, Spencer, aka Spooky Da Scary. And last but not least, the members exclusive giveaway, Sean Smallridge. That's Bytown Renegade. That's the $25 Ariana and Given Evans membership exclusive. Link tree in the description for those of you who aren't sure how to get a hold of me. I think most of you probably do. Messenger works best. With the membership, got more giveaways coming up for that. That's only $1.99 to join the membership. I keep 70% of it. YouTube takes 30%. That gets you into the member-only giveaways, which I try to do more of them. I need to ramp those up, and I've got a plan for that. But we do at least a couple every month is the target. Done some killer ones. At least I think they're killer. And then the Discord group is just a ton of fun. It's a little big things, my friends. And in this video, a little big thing that I always try to focus on when I'm creating content is to never try to express my opinion or my way of doing things as the only way to do things. I try to be mindful of that with every review that I do, that I never paint myself or paint you into a corner with this false narrative, this false belief that there's only one way to do things, because there isn't. And I really don't think that there's too many places in life that would apply, that there's only one way to do things. Take care, and I'll see you next time.